This is a fake one-sided rivalry. We got Angel Reese taking more shots at Caitlin Clark unnecessarily. You in Indiana having a great time partying. We see all the clips. Why can't you just do your thing? Why can't you just do your thing?
It was all supposed to be a crowning moment. Angel Reese, one of the most recognizable faces in women's basketball, was poised to make a statement not just on the court, but across the entire WNBA landscape. The setup was as cinematic as it gets. The All-Star Weekend in Indianapolis, an energized crowd, a national audience, and the debut of her very own Reebok shoe line. On paper, it was flawless, but reality had other plans. Just days before the festivities, Caitlin Clark, the WNBA's biggest draw and Reese's highly publicized rival, suffered a groin injury that would sideline her from the All-Star game. In an instant,
Spain and the media stopped going out there and saying that like the Caitlin Clark needs to do something to stop all this, when it is very clear this is a one-sided beef, and the one-sided beef is not from.
The perfect script unraveled and Angel Reese's ambitious marketing campaign transformed from bold to baffling. Reese's rollout wasn't subtle. Billboards dominated Indianapolis, showcasing her new shoes in bold, competitive language like "walk in your trap," "take over your trap." Social media buzzed as Reese leaned into her villain era, intentionally stoking tension with strategic messaging that seemed to be aimed directly at Clark. And the timing, almost to perfecto, suspicious. Indianapolis is Clark's home turf. Fans were planning their entire weekends around watching the hometown hero shine on her biggest stage yet, but with Clark sidelined, the spotlight shifted dramatically. And that's when the entire atmosphere changed. Ticket prices dropped. Enthusiasm.
Our show, though, with unfortunate news out of the WNBA. Caitlin Clark announced today that she will miss both the three-point contest and the WNBA All-Star Game this upcoming weekend in Indiana after re-aggravating a groin injury in that final minute of Tuesday's win over the Connecticut Sun. Clark had missed 4 games and the Commissioner's Cup final with that groin injury earlier this month, and now will be out for this weekend's festivities, which really stinks for fans. But you know that if there was
deflated, and the carefully orchestrated clash between Clark and Reese never materialized. The buzz that had been building for weeks started to fizzle for months. The media had crafted the narrative of a rivalry destined to elevate women's basketball to new heights. ESPN, Nike, Reebok, and countless influencers fed into it. This was supposed to be a historic weekend. But without Clark, the WNBA All-Star Game lost its main attraction.
The story we have been following throughout the past 2 days surrounds a superstar herself, Caitlin Clark, the WNBA star, the Indiana Fever star, Caitlin Clark. She's going to miss all the action on the...
And Angel Reese's campaign felt less like a power move and more like a solo act with no counterpart. This wasn't just about a player missing a game, it was about the momentum of an entire sport taking a hit. Caitlin Clark has become more than a rookie phenom. She is a reason new fans tune in. From casual observers to young girls discovering women's basketball for the first time, Clark is the spark igniting interest in the league. Her absence at All-Star Weekend was a blow not only to the WNBA but to every stakeholder invested in making this a breakthrough moment. Reese's campaign, which may have worked as an intentional counterweight to Clark's spotlight,
vanishes because people ain't gonna pay up to see these athletes that are ungrateful that their sport's growing. People aren't paying up for that. And we are here, right here. The tickets for this game, for this All-Star game, they've dropped by 50.
Was suddenly floating in a vacuum, and that's when things started to feel off. Reese's strategy, planting her flag in the heart of Clark territory, came across differently in light of Clark's absence. What might have been interpreted as competitive fire now looked like grandstanding. The tone shifted quickly online. Fans weren't just critiquing the marketing message, they were questioning the intent. Was it fair to run an entire campaign in a rival city when that rival couldn't compete? Some applauded the boldness, but many others saw it as tone-deaf, opportunistic, or just poorly timed. The social media backlash was swift and brutal. "You've never won in Indiana," one post read, referencing Reese's lack of wins in Clark's home state. Others joked that Reese's campaign hinged more
in the arena, the shops in the arena, they're not going to have the same amount of people patronize their business as they would if Caitlin Clark was there. The surrounding restaurants, the surrounding areas, the surrounding attractions, they're not going to have the the same number
more on Clark's name than her own performance. This isn't about your shoes, another user commented. It's about chasing someone who isn't even on the court right now. The comments reflected a growing perception that Reese's marketing leaned too heavily on Clark's star power and that without Clark, it just didn't hit the same. But perhaps the most revealing part of the weekend was how Reese responded. Instead of pulling back or shifting gears in light of Clark's injury, she leaned in harder. The slogan stayed up. The social media posts kept coming. The campaign continued as if nothing had changed.
Are taking shots at Caitlin Clark, using her as promo. Angel Reese, let's be clear here. Let's just be all the way clear here. Angel Reese is a solid basketball player. Angel Reese 100% has benefited from attaching herself to Caitlin Clark at every single turn. Her podcast, the first 3 episodes, all the clips promoting was bringing up Caitlin Clark. It was bringing up Caitlin Clark and all of the promo. People wanted to know what she was going to say. She changed.
It was a stark contrast to the tone taken by other All-Stars who, in Clark's absence, focused on uplifting the league as a whole. Reese, however, appeared committed to the rivalry narrative even if the other half of that rivalry wasn't playing. This, according to some analysts, was intentional. Reese and her team likely knew the campaign would spark backlash, but they also knew it would spark attention in today's media landscape. Engagement is currency, whether positive or negative. A viral moment, even a controversial one, could sell shoes and keep Reese's name trending. But that strategy carries risk, especially in a sport that's still trying to build goodwill and grow its audience for every fan. Excited by the edge.
In your city, walk in your trap, take over your trap. Post it on Instagram. There's about 15 fans there and Reebok put up a board. You would expect Reebok to put up a board. Let's never forget that when let's never forget the gigantic Caitlin Clark Nike billboard in Chicago. Let's never forget that. So if Reebok didn't put up a board for Angel
Edge, there's another turned off by what they see as unnecessary drama. The numbers tell the story better than any headline. Attendance dipped, engagement slowed, merchandise sales plateaued. It wasn't just Caitlin Clark's injury that caused it, it was the fragile nature of the WNBA's momentum. Everything is still new, still forming. There's no room for missteps, and in this case, the timing of Reese's campaign became a glaring example of how quickly things can spiral when the foundation isn't steady.
Continue to take shots at her, and then when them shots get fired back, nobody likes it. We don't have no videos of Caitlin Clark really taking shots at Angel Reese. Look at what Angel Reese and Reebok are doing for views. Walk in your trap, take over your trap. This is promo they're doing in Indianapolis, where Caitlin Clark plays. That is a clear shot. It's a clear shot. Like I said, this is a fake rivalry. I think you've won one game versus Caitlin Clark. You've never won in Indiana at all. It's just like you continue to attach yourself.
Angel Reese may have shown up to the WNBA All-Star Weekend ready to dominate on the hardwood. And in many ways, she absolutely did, but the headlines that followed her weren't entirely about her 31-point, 12-rebound performance. Instead, the attention shifted toward a bold marketing move that now seems to have backfired. What was supposed to be a career-defining weekend became a case study in how timing, perception, and absence can derail even the most well-intentioned strategy. Reese's shoe launch, backed by Reebok, and hyped across billboards, Instagram stories, and bold sound bites, was designed to make a splash. But that splash got lost in the ripple effect of Caitlin Clark's injury.
Word. Or to be honest, when it comes to Caitlin Clark, she did show it by her actions. Showed it by her actions. She didn't need to say, I'm taking over Chicago. She did, however, go and put up 31 and 12, set a career high with 12 assists, be the only player in the history of the WNBA ever to have 31 and 12 in a game. She did, in fact, do that and then try to hype up the Chicago crowd. So it's fair enough. You want to say, oh, Caitlin Clark did this, then show it with your actions. Go and win MVP. Go and win MVP. Don't just be like, this is my city. Don't just come in and be like, this is my city. You've never won a game. Has she won a game in Indiana? I don't think she's ever won a game in Indiana. I actually do not think she...
And the narrative that Angel Reese may have misread the room entirely. Let's not pretend Angel Reese didn't ball out. Statistically, she was a force racking up double digits in both points and rebounds, showing grit, skill, and her usual flair for commanding attention any other weekend. That performance might have dominated the sports cycle. She could have walked away a hero, a certified star both on and off the court, but the All-Star Weekend wasn't just any weekend. It was the asterisk weekend many had been waiting for, one that was expected to feature a headline matchup between Reese and Caitlin Clark in Clark's own backyard, Indianapolis. Months of build-up created anticipation for what fans believed would be a defining moment in women's basketball. Clark was the draw, the reason countless new fans booked flights,